Hi, I'm Liv, and today I thought I would do a Halloween reading vlog. So this video is going to be going up on the 6th of October, 6th of November. And I know that Halloween is over, but I thought I'd just do a reading vlog for the week of Halloween. So Halloween is on Thursday next week. No, it's on Friday next week. So I thought I would do a vlog starting the Friday of the week before. So today is the 24th of October and I have exactly a week long of Halloween reads and just like spooky reads in general. And I have got some here, so I'm going to tell you the ones I'm thinking of. And maybe we can start one because it's a really gloomy day. Like right now, it's not even turned 12 o'clock and look how gloomy my room is. 2 physical copies and I've got some stuff on my Kindle. So let's look on the Kindle first of the options. So the first book I've got in mind is The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. Now I have this one on my Kindle and I also have it because it's on Kindle Unlimited. And I also have the physical copy that I got in the works, like £1. So I've got this. Also got Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, which is the second book in the Phantasma series. I also have Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver. I read the first 2 books, loved the first, wasn't a big fan of the second, so I may as well just round off the series and give it a go. I liked her recent book Tourist Season I read in last week's video, but I did like it, so I'm debating reading that. That one is on Kindle Unlimited. X-Hex is witches and it's like a fun sort of rom-com. Enchantra is, I'd say, more of like a fantasy, like a darker fantasy. And then of course we have Scythe and Sparrow, which is such a weird genre whenever I say it, but it's like a rom-com thriller horror. It is. There's no other way to explain it. Those are my options on here. And then I have also got 2 books here, one of which I'm thinking is going to be like, I have to read this week. So first of all, I have got Let's Split Up by Bill Wood. I always say I'm going to read this and then I never get round to it. And then the other one that I'm thinking is going to have to be a must is one that looks quite thick. Okay, it's not that thick to be honest. It's because it's a hardback. It looks like massive. This one is 533 pages and this is a V.E. Schwab book and I love her stuff. So this one is Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil, which is a vampire book and it's like toxic lesbian vampires apparently, and quite a serious book, and I really want to read it. Like I bang on about wanting to read books about vampires. Like I truly want to read books about vampires because I haven't read a book about vampires since Bride, but I just never read them about vampires and it really frustrates me. I always read like witches and just fantasy in general, but never vampires. I really want to give this one a go. I might start this one today. I'm really intimidated with how thick this one looks, but it's been on my shelf for a while. I've wanted to read it for ages, and Ellen Catherine, she read it not long ago and she said it was one of my favourite books ever, so I really want to give it a go. The last book I read by V.E. Schwab was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I did 5-star. I adored that book and still to this day it's one of my favourite books I've ever written. Whew, I wish I wrote that. It's one of the favourite books I've ever read in my life, and I really want to read this because I do like V.E. Schwab's writing. I just think it's very captivating and she's very good at setting the scene. Her writing always feels really deep, if that makes sense. Like it always feels like it's drawing you in and really sets the scene. Different times that this is set in, like the first bit is set in 1532, then there's a bit in 1827 and then 2019, so loads of different times and I'm very excited. I've decided I might do a bit of a tandem read. I am enjoying Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil. I just think it is going to be a heavier read. Like there's a lot of world building, and as I expected with V.E. Schwab books, it takes a bit of time to get into it and they're very serious usually and not light-hearted in any way. So I'm looking at my Kindle and I'm debating picking a Kindle read to read alongside this book. So when I want something a bit light-hearted, I can go over to there. I've also bought a foo. What was that? Genuinely, what was that noise? That wasn't like a car horn. That was weird. Here's my Kindle. I've got it on my little stand here, and these are the books that I'm looking at potentially to read. So the girls are all so nice here. I have heard about on TikTok when I was like researching Kindle books that are on Kindle Unlimited. So this one is about these two girls who become friends. It's a very toxic friendship, and our female main character ends up doing basically whatever the other girl wants. So I kind of gave like something a bit thriller-esque, so I'm interested in that. I just bought Mates by Ellie Hazelwood, which is the second book from Bride. It's the sequel. Rewitched is a book that was written by a YouTuber my mum watches actually, and it's a witch book, so I was debating that one. It was 99p, so I did grab that one. Killer Obsession, The Killer Question by Janice Hallett. I love a Janice Hallett books. They are not written like a typical book. They are written with like poems and letters, emails, pictures. None of it's actually written like how to explain? None of it's actually written like a book. It's all like bits and pieces, and you've got to figure out who's done it, kind of thing. And then we've got here fan service as well. This one is a werewolf book. From what I remember, she has like almost like a Reddit, which is dedicated to this actor, but it's dedicated to the character he plays, which is a werewolf. Now, he is an actor who has been out of work for a while since they cancelled the TV show that he was the werewolf in. And he wakes up in the middle of the forest, and he doesn't know how he got there, but he knows there was a full moon last night, and he remembers howling, and he doesn't remember why. So he's like becoming a werewolf, and he doesn't know why, and the only person he can turn to is somebody who knows his character inside out, which is our film main character there. I just thought it sounded like a rom-com-y sort of book, something a bit cute, fluffy, not too serious. I swear I'll stop updating you on tiny things that have nothing to do with the actual book, like things that are important to do with the book, but I'm the biggest idiot, and I need to share it with you because I'm just the biggest idiot. So I've been sat in my bed reading, and I'm liking the book. I'm really getting into it. I'm at page 45 right now, so I'm liking it. 45 pages in, and I'm really enjoying it. I've met Alice, Lottie, and Maria, and I'm invested. I really want to read more, and I'm going to read more, but I was looking for an audiobook because I've never audiobooked any of V.E. Schwab's books, so I thought, I've only read one book by her, but I've never audiobooked that book, so I was gonna give the audiobook a go, and so I clicked to listen to the next chapter, and I was flabbergasted with the fact that I'm an idiot. There's no easy way to say it. Okay, I'm just gonna explain it. So each chapter, it says their name, and then it says D in brackets, and then it says a date. So you can see there it says Maria, D, 1532. Now for some reason, I thought that meant, oh, Maria's story is set in 1532. Don't know what the D was going to stand for there, but in my brain it made sense. And then it said Lottie, D question mark, Alice, D 2019. And I clicked play on the audiobook on Maria's chapter, and it said Maria, death, 1532. And I had to pause the audiobook, and I went, oh my god, the D stands for death. Oh my god, how did I not clock? And then I'm just sat there and I was laughing at myself at how stupid I've been. How did I not clock that the D was for death? It's time for an update. So I did say to you guys that I was going to read 75 pages. Now I ended up going way past that. I say way past that. It wasn't much past that, but I have completed the 75 pages and gone a little bit further. So I'm at page 119 right now, and I'm loving it so much. It's so good. Focus. Yeah, it has. As you can see, I've read a good little chunk. Really liking it. So my favorite character right now is Maria. She is my favorite. Now her storyline is set in the 1500s, and we have just seen like how her life ended, how she became a vampire. And we already knew this was going to happen because it does say like death 1532, so you do know it's going to happen. So I've just got to that point in the book, and honestly, really enjoyed it. Like, the vampires in this book, like, I hadn't seen anything to do with the vampires yet in the book. Like, I hadn't seen how dark this book was going to be. I wasn't too sure, and it is dark. Like, I am loving it. There's descriptions of Maria biting into her husband's neck and like just blood pooling down her, and like her being covered in it and being like a mess, and I love that. That sounds a bit weird. I love that the vampires are not being shown as these like glamorous beings. They're being shown as like bloodthirsty murderers. You know, I'm enjoying the book when I woke up and the first thing I did was read 30 pages. It's really, really good. I'm on page 150 right now. I'm loving it. And honestly, the entire time I was getting ready for the day, I need to go do the food shop for the house, but the entire time I was getting ready for the day, I was just like, I want to pick up the book. I want to pick up the book. It's gritty, it's dark, it doesn't glamorize vampires, I think I've already said that, but it's a gritty book. Like, the descriptions of vampires drinking from people, and the taste that they have that's like as if they're drinking something rotten but they can't stop, and it's just not glamorized, and I love it. It's really dark. Okay, I'll be so for real right now. I don't remember when I last updated, but I'm going to do a little one right now because a lot's happened. So I'm at page 237. I'm really far into the book now, as you can see. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Before I said, oh, you know, we're seeing like how vampires like are portrayed as quite dark characters. It's not a glamorous thing. That got amped up like so high after I did that clip. Like, oh my god, it's been like over 100 years now. She's getting used to being a vampire, and we're seeing all this like gruesome stuff happening, and it really isn't a glamorous life. Like, the way that things are described, I'm loving it. It's given like Bram Stoker Dracula, it's given like gothic. I'm really liking it. I'm also enjoying the present day vampire, which is Alice, and seeing her go through these changes and really not understand what's going on with her, and we're seeing how she's dealing with that in the modern day, because obviously it's very different from 1500s and then 2019. Like, obviously we've got the police and things, and there's like phones that people carry about and stuff, and lighting, like street lamps and things. Everything's a bit different in the modern day. You can get away with more in the 1500s, obviously. It's very interesting, and I'm so captivated by it. Like, I'll go, okay, I'll read a chapter, I'll end up reading 5, and then I'll go, okay, I need to put this down. 5 minutes later, I'm picking up the book again. I'm like, okay, just one more chapter. I honestly can't put this book down. It's just so amazing. I've just finished Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by E. Schwab. I'm actually speechless. You guys know how long I've been saying I want to read a book about a vampire. I've been like, I want to read a book about a vampire. I want it to be dark. I need to read a book about a vampire, and it actually needs to be good, because I hadn't read one that was solely about vampires and like not vampires and werewolves. This has now put my standard of what I really hope to read from a book about vampires. It's just put my standard at such a high place. I loved this book. I truly loved this book. I had high expectations because I loved her previous work, and I was thinking, in all honesty, I've been putting it off so much, not because of how thick it looked, but also because I thought, I've just got really high expectations and I don't want it to not meet them. Like, I've been mulling it over in my head for the last few minutes, and I've been thinking, oh, but maybe it's a 4.75, and then I've been like, but no, because of this reason it can't be, and then this is the reason why it needs to be higher, and then here's another reason. So much. This book was written brilliantly. That is the thing about V.E. Schwab's writing, is that her writing style is truly amazing. It's almost poetic in a way. The way that she describes things, it's just truly amazing. It's There's truly nothing like her writing. Nothing exists that is as good as this. It's so unique. How we saw how it affects relationships and love, and how some people see it as a gift, whereas as some people see it as a curse. I loved seeing all the years we saw from the 1500s all the way up into present day. Everything that's being described, I could see. I didn't have to fill in any gaps. It was all there for me. I would highly recommend this book. It does kind of give like a gothic vibe in a way, if that makes sense. I could keep talking for another half an hour about this book. It was truly amazing. I'm so glad that I read it. It was... I'm gobsmacked at how good this book was. Actually don't remember what I said in the last check-in, if I'm honest. I'm getting ready for bed now. I'm in my exorcist top, and that's how you know I'm going to bed, is some sort of horror top is on me. But I'm reading the X-Hex, as you know, and I just want to do a little update of where I'm up to and like my thoughts and opinions. I'm at page 179 and I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. It's a 309 page book and I'm really far into it. Like, I expected to read a little bit today, but I didn't know how hooked I was going to get or how captivated, because I knew it was going to be like a bit of a, I was going to say silly read, but I don't think that's the right word. Like a bit more like a light-hearted read, not too high-staked in comparison to Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And I've been hooked. It's so funny. So first of all, I listened to the audiobook for quite a while today. I listened to it on the way to work and a bit at work, so I was in the office today, and I had so much fun. Like, the audiobook is so funny and I was actually laughing out loud whilst I was driving home. Like, it was really funny. The banter is great between them and I'm loving it. I think it's flowing in such a good way. I'm loving every character. Right now my favourite character is probably Reese. He is so funny. So we have our two characters, Vivian and Reese. I feel like I haven't really explained their story. So they dated 9 years ago. Vivian did a like hex kind of as a joke. She was like, I curse you, Reese, like, and just drinking vodka and stuff and lighting some candles. It wasn't really serious, but she did end up hexing him basically. And 9 years later he's come back to town and the hex has really taken root with him when he's in the town. So he is in town to put magic back into the earth basically, which is what their family do every so many years, and he has done it and something's gone wrong, and so these two characters have to work together to try and fix everything. That's the premise of the book. So we've had the thing go wrong, and I think it's a really solid thing that's gone wrong. Like, it's actually a problem. It's not something that's like, oh, this could be fixed real quick. This is actually an issue that I don't know how they're going to fix, and I think it's a good issue for them to be having to work together with, because it's both of their fault. I also think the reason they broke up, I think, is a reason that I can forgive the characters for, because it's not something that's terrible. It's kind of just bad timing for something to have happened. I also love the banter between them, because obviously they have previously dated and broken up for a reason, like for some reason or another. And I feel like the banter between them is so funny. Like, they pretend that they hate each other, but they really don't. They have feelings there still. And whenever you're in either one's perspective, they say about how they're attracted to the other and they shouldn't be, but they are. And it's like, they want to, especially Vivian. Vivian constantly insults Reese and she's constantly calling him every name under the sun. But when he looks away, she's like, why can I not stop thinking about kissing this man? And it's really funny. Like, they actually do like each other. And the funny thing is that they try and insult each other, mainly Vivian, and then it just doesn't really come out as an insult. It just kind of comes out as cheeky, flirty banter. Okay, little update. Well, big update. I finished the book. I finished the book and I'm pretty solid on my rating for this book. So overall, I did enjoy this book. I thought it was fun and I thought it was cozy. Definitely what I was looking for after reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. It was just something that wasn't too serious and it really hit the spot. Now, I loved the book. I really did. I thought it was a lot of fun. However, I probably loved all the way up to about the 80% mark. I loved the conflict that happened, like the big problem that had to be solved by the two characters coming together, even though they didn't want to have to work together because they're exes. I loved the tension between them. I love how quick the tension was like broken and they both like admitted their feelings. However, I didn't like the resolve, because the resolve kind of only took 2 chapters. I kind of expected it to take a bit longer. I was kind of expecting the resolve to take like a good 10% of the book, but it was more like just about 10 pages, to be honest, or probably even less. I also didn't like the ending of how their relationship ended up. Sorry, this piece of hair is just annoying me a little bit. Obviously there's like the big resolve between the 2 romantic partners. So that part I wasn't too keen on, because it literally lasted about 3 pages. I just felt like it kind of deserved a bit more than that. I wanted to see these 2 characters, because this is a romance book, I wanted to see them really go into the deepness of their relationship and everything. But overall I did enjoy it, and I'm very happy I read it. I read a little witchy book and it was enjoyable. I'm going to move on to the next book today. By the way, it's currently 10:30 in the morning, so remember I said, oh, I'll try and finish it tomorrow. I actually ended up staying up till 2 AM and got to pretty much 230 pages. Bear in mind it's a 309 page book. Then this morning I got up at 8, no alarm, just my body clock was like, yeah, you need to get up and read this book, and I finished the book in an hour. Move on to the next book, which I'm going to pick another Kindle book, because I'm really vibing with a Kindle. Side note, this is going to be so like, my mind is probably going to change by like tomorrow, but I'm still going to say it. I currently am not buying physical copies. It hurts my heart to say. I just have no room. I have no shelf space. So the only way I could possibly buy a new physical copy is if I go through my shelves, go through my old books and figure out what I don't want to keep, because I'm not a person who likes trophies really. I'm only going to keep the books that absolutely are in my heart forever. So like The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, the ACOTAR series, things like that. Things that really still are in my mind all the time. I'm going to read Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I've got it on my Kindle here. I am a Kindle girly. I do need to read Kindle books, probably over paperbacks anyway, because it's just, I never reread a book, so there's not really much point in me having a physical copy of it. I'm gonna read this. Can you see the front? Yeah, you can now. This is May, Ali Hazelwood, and this is the sequel to Bride. Now, I know virtually nothing about this book, so I'm gonna have a little look at the blurb. That's the cover, a little bit brighter. There you are. It's not focusing. Is it now? Yeah, it's focusing now. So I'm gonna have a look at the blurb real quick, because I don't remember anything about this book. I don't even think I looked at the blurb. I think I just wanted to read it because it's the sequel to Bride and I loved Bride. So let's have a look. I like the sound of this book. I'm already kind of interested. This is a 441 page book, by the way, and it starts at page 12. So I am going to read a little bit now. I'm very interested already. So from the sounds of it, it sounds like these 2 characters, and I remember the female main character. I remember her in the last book. I think she was best friends with our female main character in that book, Misery. So I'm pretty sure I remember her. She was kind of like a big plot point in that book. So her and this guy, Keen, are mates. They, not like pals, like like romantic, like tied together. So he cares for her a lot, and I'm guessing they're gonna get like drawn to each other. I don't really know any of the tropes in this book. It doesn't really say anything, but I am interested. I think this is all from one perspective as well, by the way. The last one was all from Misery's perspective, and at the start of every chapter we got like a little thing from what was he called, Lowell or something? I don't remember his name. It might have been Lowell, can't remember. I think I read like 50 already today, but I'd like to read over 150 pages today if I can, because I'm on a roll. Right now it is the 28th of October, by the way, so I've got 28th, 29th, 30th, 31, 4 days to read some more books, and I definitely think this is going to take like 2 or 3 days. I don't think it's going to take too long, because I don't think it's going to be too deep of a book. That's usually why I enjoy the Bride. That's why I enjoyed Bride, really, because it had deep moments, but it wasn't like a deep book that, you know, made me book slump because it was on my mind for so long. It's not that type of book. So I'm excited for it because I want to read about werewolves. little mini update. So I'm actually at page 50 in the book. I'm very happy. I think pretty much one sitting, I just read 50 pages to see, you know, if I'm enjoying the book, if I'm liking the vibes. And I definitely say the vibes are the same as Bride, and I'm liking that. It's, you know, sticking to the series. But for some reason, there is a lot of spice in this series. I know there is. But for some reason, I don't know why, it gives YA energy. That's just me. Like, the writing's a little bit cringy, and you do feel yourself going like, at some parts, like, a little bit icky. But that is what Bride was like, and I loved that. And I only read that like a year ago, so I don't really know why my opinion's so... I'm finding it icky. Don't know why. Very, very strange. Overall, I am enjoying it so far. I'm getting what the plot is, and in the first 50 pages we've kind of had it kind of mapped out for us what the plot of the book is going to be based around. So we've got Serena, our female main character. She is one of the big characters in Bride. She is a hybrid, and she is part werewolf, part human, and that is very unheard of in this world. Like, those don't exist. There's only Serena and Anna, which is Lowell's brother. And people want them to experiment on. People want to know more about them and want to experiment and everything. And it's not good. And people are trying to keep them hidden. However, for one reason or another, everybody knows who Serena is. She basically, her information is out there and everyone knows her name, knows that she's a hybrid, and so people are after her, and people have been sending people to find her. Like, the vampire lot have been sending people to try and find her and kidnap her and be able to experiment on her, basically, because they want to be able to have leverage against the werewolves. Ian isn't a very likable person. He is very blunt to the point, and he's been quite blunt with Serena, and she is quite a snarky, sarcastic person anyway, and he is just snarky to the extreme. Like, if you have, like, you know, the typical toxic, like, grumpy boyfriends in a book, like, to the extreme of grumpy. But she feels safe around him, and she does like him in a way, but he is just so like, nah, you're not my type. And it's so standoffish that I'm just like, how am I meant to like you as a character? That's where I'm at right now. I'm just a bit perplexed on how I'm meant to enjoy him as a character. It's later on in the evening, and I haven't read any yet, but I just wanted to update you on how to say the name. So I've been calling him Kian. Apparently it's Cohen. Like, it's said like that apparently. So I'm gonna call him Cohen from now on. Don't have a clue how his name's actually meant to be said, but I'm gonna try Cohen. That kind of feels right. I have a pretty big update for you guys. So I have been reading today. I was in the office, so I did a lot of audiobook reading. As of right now, I'm saying this book kind of sits at a 3-star. That is a lot better than it originally sat. So the problems I have with this book is, this book feels very similar to the last book. Like, the format and the storyline, it almost feels like a different version of that book with slightly different characters. It's annoying me. But I'm so sad at myself for not enjoying this book, because I love Ali Hazelwood's stuff. I mean, I love The Love Hypothesis, and I really like Bride. I just don't know why I'm not enjoying it. I'm also finding myself feeling, I think I already explained this, I'm feeling like it's a YA book. Well, obviously it's not, because there's a lot of spice in it, but it's written like a YA book to me. I also feel like a lot of the lines are making me cringe because they read like a YA book. And I feel like I'm nearly 22, so that doesn't really cater towards me anymore. Like, YA, as much as it should be, it says young adult, but really it means like 18-year-old, 16-year-old. It's like I'm slating this book, and I'm really not trying to, because I love the author, as I've said. I loved Bride and I loved The Love Hypothesis, but this book is just not scratching that itch. It is the next day, and I had such a good night last night, but it was so late by the time I got back that I did not finish the book. I finished it this morning, and I'm just getting ready to go to a book signing. I'm going to see BK Borison today. I'm so excited. So I'm going to bring... Do I have Love Light Palms? I do. I'm going to bring Love Light Palms with me because she's signing 2 books today. So I'm going to get to sign Love Light Palms, and I'm picking up a book there. So we're signing that one as well. But I finished Mate by Ali Hazelwood, and I just want to say, before I say anything else, I want to say, I love Ali Hazelwood. I think she is lovely, and my opinions are nothing to do with her as a person. Just wanted to make that clear, because there are books of hers that I've loved. I loved The Love Hypothesis, so good, and I loved Bride, honestly brilliant. But this book just did not hit the spot, I'm afraid. I had so many problems with this book, and I feel so bad, and I honestly am so annoyed at myself for not enjoying this book. So for a start, my first problem was that I felt like this book was written like a YA book. It was written very young in my opinion, and I don't think the writing style was for me. I feel like the romance didn't really exist until like the 70% mark or the 60% mark. I just feel like it was non-existent for a long time. And Cohen was a character that I just didn't like. He was very unlikable. Not in a always grumpy, like in an I just don't like you because you're rude. And I think that's why I didn't really buy into this book much, is because of that. I'm also going to say I had a lot of problems with this book with the plot. Personally, I thought the plot was very similar to the last book, and I felt like it could have been something so different, and I think that's what I wanted. I wanted something really different, but to me it was just too similar to the last book for me to really enjoy it much. I'd also want to say there was something in the book that was brought up of how they originally met for the first time. That instantly made me just switch off from this couple. I just did not want to know about them. I didn't want to be invested in a relationship, because it just completely changed my view on them. I just thought, oh my god, I cannot look at these two people the same now that I know when they met for the first time, and it really creeped me out. I have decided, after mulling it over and having a think, I have given Mate a 2.75 star. Gave it a 2.75. I know that's really specific, but at one point it was a 3-star, but then like how they met was brought up, and I was like, I can't give it a 3-star, because that would be admitting like that I enjoyed a lot of it and I didn't enjoy a lot of it. There was so much of it that I didn't enjoy, and it just made me really uncomfortable. And even the spice was just, because I wasn't invested in a relationship because of things that we found out in the book, I didn't like the spice because of it. It kind of ruined it for me. I thought the book was a little bit too long for me personally. It's probably because I didn't enjoy it that I was like, this book's really long, but that obviously is just because I wasn't enjoying the book anyway. I think that's probably why I thought it was too long. But overall, I wasn't a big fan, and I'm very annoyed with myself for not liking it. Like, if you've liked this book, I'm so happy for you. But for me, I really didn't enjoy it much. It is the 31st of October, it's officially Halloween. I've got a darker lip balm. Yeah, it's darker than usual. And I've just got some stripy jumper on, because I was wearing Christmas jumpers all week, I won't lie. I'm in such a Christmas mood. I didn't think it was appropriate to wear a Christmas jumper today. But yesterday, I had a pretty decent book day. So yesterday, I went and met BK Borison, and she was so sweet. She kind of reminds me of Anne Hathaway. Like, she's really tall, she's brunette, and she just had this like vibe to her with her style especially. But that was very fun. She signed her new book that's come out, which is Good Spirits, and she signed Love Light Farms for me, and she drew a little ghost in Good Spirits, and both of them were personalised. She was really sweet, and she said a lot about her book and like how nervous she was to write it, because her first like paranormal, like fantasy-esque romance. I do like her writing, so very much excited to read Good Spirits. Today I was initially gonna read, I think it's Rewitched, but I think by Lucy Jane Wood. There's a massive chance I got that wrong, but I think it's called Rewitched, I'm pretty sure on that. I was reading that, I did read a little bit, but then I listened to the audiobook, and the audiobook is done by somebody who's really northern. Now, I live in the north of England, like I am from a northern area, I just don't have a northern accent, and so I just listen to that all the time. So I was like, I heard it and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can deal with this accent. But yeah, the audiobook was kind of making me like, ugh. So I've stopped that. The actual writing I was liking, like I only got like 10 pages in, but I just feel like I've already read a witch book, and I read a lot of witch books anyway, so I wanted something a bit different for my last day of Halloween reading. I just wanted something a little bit different. And how often do I complain about not reading enough vampire books? How often? So I was looking through vampire books that I have on my Kindle, had a look on Kindle Unlimited. There was a book called Blood Orange, but apparently the second book is really bad because it's just spice, so I was a bit like, I don't know if I should read the first book if I'm not going to end up reading the second book because it's really bad. So I'm still looking into that one, but I have decided to read My Roommate is a Vampire, and I know that it's going to be like a cozy, funny rom-com, but I wanted to read the third book in that series, and I nearly got it the other day in the works because the back really intrigued me, but I can't read the third book in a series because then, like, how am I going to go back and read the first two when I already know everything's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to do that and then ruin the first two books and I'd never be able to read them. Yeah, so I'm thinking of reading this. So this book is about, there's this girl and she needs a place to stay. She has been basically kicked out of her apartment, I think, and she's looking for somewhere cheap to rent, but everywhere is really overpriced, and every flat that she's looked at, well, apartment because American, every apartment she's looked at is just so extortionately priced with like $1,500 a month payment, and she's like, I cannot afford this. And so she's looking for somewhere that's going to be cheap, affordable, and doesn't have someone crazy that's her roommate. So there's this ad that she's found, and this is where I'm up to in the book right now. I think I'm like 6 pages in. She's found this advert, her and her friend, for this apartment with this guy who's basically said that he is asking for $200 a month, which is so cheap for an apartment. He's also said that the apartment will pretty much be like your own apartment because he only really is going to be there at night in the apartment, otherwise in the day he won't be around in the kitchen or anything. He's so like, this is so good, like too good to be true, like no way, there has to be something weird with this guy. And obviously we know that he is a vampire. I'm very excited to read it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a good book. I saw it ages ago and I thought, I love the idea, but is it going to be like a silly rom-com that I just really don't like? But I liked the X-Hex, and someone that I watched said that she liked this book, so it's kind of giving me a bit of hope with this book. So I am going to read it. I've got it on my Kindle. I bought it for £2, and I'm also going to read it on audiobook. I'm loving it. I'm loving this book. I actually didn't think I would find a book that I just loved so much that would be, you know, comical, rom-com-y. This is it. It's so funny. I'm loving this book so much. It's so good, and it's currently Halloween at night, and this book is just hitting the spot so much. It's funny and it's sweet and it's romantic, and he is just such a nice guy. I love him so much, and she is just trying to be there for him. I just double checked his name. His name is Frederick in this book. I love it. And his character is just so funny with like how formal he is, and his story isn't your generic like how he is a vampire. It's not generic at all. Like, it's actually a really good plotline. I don't know if this is an open door or closed door book, as in like I don't know if there's spice or not, so I'm going to check that in a minute, but I would be completely fine if there was no spice, because I just don't feel like this book needs spice. But I am nearly at 200 pages. I really do want to finish it tonight. I'm just loving it, and the audiobook's really good. I've read some of the audiobook. I read like 40% on audiobook. Really good audiobook too. It's currently 8:30 at night. I've been answering the door all night. It's been so much fun. There's been so many different people with costumes, and it's been utterly adorable. And I've been reading my book all night. I have really been loving this book. It's been really good. I'm so shocked at this. I'm at page 290 out of 341. Just checking if there's an epilogue or anything. Okay, there is. It's actually out of 339 pages. I am at 290. So I've really not got much left. I've got like 50 pages, I'd say. And I'm obsessed with this book. It's so good. I am loving it. I'm loving the characters. I love the time in which she found out he was a vampire. I loved everything about this. So one of the biggest plot points in this book is that she is kind of teaching him how to be a vampire in the modern day and how to pass as a human, because he doesn't understand modern concepts, he doesn't understand technology, he doesn't understand even just talking to somebody in modern day language. So she's trying to teach him all that stuff, and they're slowly getting closer and closer, and it's so adorable. But there is like proper language to it. It's not just sickly cute. Like, there is actually some really good writing. Like, the whole book is written very well, is what I mean. I am up to the point right now where there's something's bad has happened, and I think I've got an idea of what could have happened, but we don't know right now what has happened, because we are the perspective of the girl in this, which is, he's called Frederick and she's called Cassie, that's it. But I really don't know. Yeah, I think I'm right with what I'm thinking, but I'm so on edge. I'm at 85% and I know I'm going to finish it tonight. It's currently 8:30 at night. I'm about to have a bath. I'm running a bath right now using a Lush bubble bar because I want to have a pamper, and I'm going to finish this book whilst I'm in the bath, 100%. I officially finished My Roommate is a Vampire last night at like 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night. I think it was 9 o'clock, and I loved it so much. It was this proper like silly, goofy rom-com with some elements of like seriousness in it as well, especially with when it came to like feelings between our main two characters. I loved Frederick and Cassie. I loved them so much. I just thought the premise of the book was so good, and I liked it. The idea of like, you know, you've got this roommate, he's a vampire, and he's got these weird habits, sleeping habits and stuff, you don't really think anything of it, and then bam, you find out he's a vampire. I love the premise. However, I absolutely fell in love with his story. So finding out how he became a vampire, finding out why he's so clueless in the modern day, I loved all that stuff. That's the stuff that really made this book amazing to me, and I ate it up, because as much as it was silly, there was a lot of stuff in the book. Like, there was a lot of things to unpack and really enjoy, and the plot was like packed, and I loved it. The big like problem that happened towards the end of the book was so good, and the resolve made me laugh so much. And for me, if this book hadn't have been as silly as it was throughout, the resolve probably would have done my head in a bit, but because of how silly the book was in general, it just worked so well. I loved it. I ended up giving this book a 4.5 star. I know. And I had honestly the best time. I was laughing so much, especially with how clueless Frederick was. Like, that's the bit that made me laugh so much. Like, there was an example for you guys. He was cooking food for Cassie at one point, and he was wearing an apron, and he turned around and his apron had some sort of naughty quote on it that said something like, "This isn't the only meat I rub," or something like that. And she was like, "What the hell are you wearing?" For him to look at her and be like, "What? It's just a very literal apron because I am rubbing meat." And I was just like, oh my god, he's so innocent and so clueless. And that is really how to describe Frederick throughout this book. He really was clueless because of his because of him not really clocking on to anything in the modern day. I found so much of this book funny and comical. I would highly recommend it. It was very, very good, and I just couldn't stop laughing throughout this book. I am going to read the second book in the series in the next video I do next week, so stay tuned for that. But I had such a good time with all these books this video. So what did we read? We read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Really loved that. It was 5 star. Can't stop thinking about it. We also read The Ex-Hex. I had such a good time with that. It was so fun. Mate. Wasn't a bigger fan as that, but I don't think I like the Omegaverse anymore. I think the first book I liked like a lot, but I don't know, that last book I really didn't like it. But I don't know, because I do like the Omegaverse. The problems I had with the book was the romance just kind of appeared out of nowhere. That was my issue mainly, and I was just a bit like, huh? So I didn't have any issues with the Omegaverse. It was mainly just like the romance that I just thought came out of nowhere. I need to have a think about that one because I don't know. In fact, I'd love to read more in Omegaverse, which is like wells and things, but I don't know. Because that part I liked. Tricky. But then I read My Roommate's a Vampire, and honestly, that was so much fun. Honestly, it was the best book to read on Halloween. I read that book in one day, and it was just so funny, and I just found myself laughing so much. And the next book is about Reginald, which is Frederick's best friend. And I'm so excited to read more about this silly, goofy series. I just think it's so much fun. Thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys next week with another one. Next week is a book challenge. Subscribe, like, and do all that stuff. And I hope you guys had an amazing Halloween. I know this video is going up a few days after Halloween, but I wanted to film this one on Halloween, so yeah. I will see you guys soon with another video. Subscribe, like, and do that stuff, and I'll see you guys pretty soon. Bye!